Okay, at the end here, we just have some questions and answers about grizzlies. Perhaps you could discuss these questions with your family members at home, your sister, brother, your mom, or dad. I'll ask a question, pause the video, have a discussion, and then I'll read what the author wrote about the answers. Okay, first question. Is it safe to hike and camp in areas where there are grizzlies? Pause. It says, every year, millions of people visit places like Glacier and Yellowstone National Parks and hike through grizzly country. Bear attacks are extremely rare. In fact, a person is far more likely to get hurt in a park by tripping on a trail or getting stung by a bee. Still, there are important rules for sharing the wilderness. With grizzlies, here are the basics of bear safety. 1. Hike in groups. Groups of 3 or more are best. 2. Watch for signs of bears in the area like tracks and scat. 3. Make lots of noise when hiking. Talk loudly, sing, and clap your hands. Whistling isn't a good idea because it could sound like an animal and actually attract a bear to you. Bells aren't a good idea either. If you do notice a bear, stay far away from it and all wildlife. Never approach a bear. You risk startling it if you go closer. That's when bears tend to be most active. Don't hike after dark or at dawn or dusk. That's when bears tend to be most active. Pay extra attention in areas where there are thick trees or where you can't see around you. Make extra noise near rushing water because it makes it hard for bears to hear you coming. Check for warnings on trailheads. Talk to rangers and ask if there have been bear sightings. Follow all of their advice. Make sure people know where you are going and when to expect you back. Have your family bring bear spray, but make sure that your parents practice using it. Studies have shown that it is the most effective way to stop an aggressive bear. But bear spray only works if a person knows how to use it. The spray cans are tricky to use, and a bear spray can is only useful if it's easy to grab. Never keep it in a backpack. The sign says, Bear Country. All wildlife is dangerous. Do not approach or feed. Today in Glacier and other national parks, people are giving clear warnings about bears and other dangers. Second question. How many grizzlies are there in America? What do you guys think? Before the 1700s, tens of thousands of grizzly bears roamed North America, as far south as Mexico and as far north as Alaska. Members of native nations and tribes hunted them and worshipped them, but during the 1800s, grizzlies were hunted and killed by settlers, farmers, and ranchers. By the 1960s, there were only about 1,000 left in the lower 48 states. That's every state except Hawaii and Alaska. The American government decided that the grizzly bear was in danger of becoming extinct, that it could disappear from the earth forever. It needed to be protected, and in 1975, the grizzly bear officially became a threatened species. This meant the grizzly could no longer be hunted. Scientists work hard to help it recover in the wild. Today, there are an estimated 1,600 grizzly bears living mostly in Montana and Wyoming, including in Glacier and Yellowstone National Parks. Alaska has the biggest grizzly population in the world, 32,000. That's because there is a lot more land and far fewer humans in our 49th state. There are also about 15,000 bears in Canada for similar reasons. A grizzly catches salmon in Katmai National Park, Alaska. Okay, the next question. What's the difference between black bears and grizzlies? Do you guys know? Talk with your family. Okay. It's important to know the difference between grizzlies and black bears because grizzlies can be more dangerous. Grizzlies and black bears can be hard to tell apart. Both can be black, brown, and blonde. Grizzlies are usually bigger, but not always. The biggest way to tell the difference is that grizzlies have a hump between their shoulders. Black bears and grizzlies' faces also look different from the side. Black bears' profiles appear straight. Grizzlies have a dip in them, which is sometimes called a dished-in profile. Grizzlies' claws and black bears' claws are also shaped differently. One more difference, black bears can and do climb trees. Some grizzlies do, but they are far less likely to. Study these pictures to see the other differences. Hopefully you can see that. The next question. What should I do if I surprise a grizzly in the wild? What do you guys think? Okay, this is what the author writes. You probably won't. Remember, grizzly sightings are very rare. And of course, now that you know all the rules of hiking and camping in grizzly country, it's even less likely you're going to see one. But just so you know, because it's pretty interesting, here's what experts say to do. Most bears will not attack. So the most important and probably hardest thing to do is to stay calm. Do not run. This will cause a grizzly to run after you. Keep an eye on the bear, but don't stare it in the eye. Speak in a low, calm voice. This is so the grizzly realizes that you are a human. Walk slowly away while still facing the bear. Here's where things get complicated. If a grizzly bear starts following you, climbing a tree is not a definite escape. Some grizzlies do climb. Sometimes a bear will charge you as a bluff. It is trying to scare you, but you shouldn't run. Most charges stop before the bear is very close. But if the bear keeps coming, just before it gets to you, fall to the ground. Lie on your stomach, hook your hands behind your neck, and play dead. Keep your backpack on to protect your back. Dig your toes and elbows into the ground so the bear can't roll you over. If it rolls you over, try to get back onto your stomach. Be quiet and don't move. The attack should be quick and the bear will go away once it feels it is out of danger. After the bear leaves, stay still for as long as possible. If you start to move too soon and the bear is still nearby, it could resume the attack.